Welcome to the Sportbros podcast, featuring the almighty B-Live, the money man Scotty D, and your host, the head of creative Eddie Cool. The Sportbros podcast, by the fan, for the fan, talking sports just the way you like it. And without any further ado, let's give it up for the Sportbros. It's another wonderful and fine Wednesday in the world, and guess what? We are back once again. It is time for your favorite sports podcast, none other than the Sports Bros podcast. A whole hell of a lot was going on this past weekend and this past week in the world of sports. And so I'm gonna stop my incoherent rambling right now, because what I got to say don't make a damn bit of difference. It ain't important and it don't matter. I have two of the best co-hosts in the world. Introducing first, the almighty B-Live.
What's happening?
No, stop it immediately.
Are you there? You there? I can't see you.
I know you can't see me because I'm not in my normal location. Let me do me. Let me do me. I can speak here. Oh Lord! Did I cuss? Was I like Shannon Sharp the other day on the air? I like to cuss for real. Yeah. What's happening? What's going on in the world today? This be your boy, the almighty B-Live. For those that view our podcast every once in a while when we do post it on YouTube, I am actually not in front of the camera, so it's okay. For all the ladies, I do apologize. Yeah, right. But yeah. Man, oh man, there's been a lot going on. Whew. Madness, March Madness spilled into April as it always does. Welcome to WrestleMania. Yes, we are wrestling fans here. We're going to talk about it. And man, NBA playoff picture, NHL, we'll let that work itself out because we'll talk about that in the weeks to come. But go ahead and introduce the other guy that want to be interrupting and want to just take over the show like he want to do just because he doesn't see it, brother. I'm still here. Don't you worry about it. Yes, sir.
Stepping on toes, breaking fools' nose. You know how it is. And the other guy, he is the pride of Washington, Pennsylvania. Pound for pound, the toughest, the meanest, the roughest, the thuggish, ruggish lunch lady in all Washington County. He is the one, the only, the money man, Scotty D.
The best of times are when I cannot see you. I cannot see you, B-Live, but I hear you, disembodied voice.
Did you really just come up with that song just now?
I think he just did that.
You did that just now?
Styx. That was a Styx song by Styx.
Wow. Do you miss doing karaoke that much? You literally just came off the dome with
that. I believe he did.
I'm very, very talented. That's one of my talents, and I got another talent I'll share with you here in just a few minutes. But we're going to talk about a little sports, and I'll share that talent. Eddie, what happened in sports this weekend? What do you want to talk about? Tell us, and let's share.
Scotty D, go ahead, be live.
I was going to tell. I would love to show him how I feel about his talents, but I'll just say Brock Lesnar did it for me on Raw on Monday. Okay, my bad, Eddie Cool. There it is.
Jesus Christ, Vincent, man, with that ugly ass toupee and that ugly ass mustache. But anyways, Scotty D, the question should be, what didn't happen in the world of sports this past weekend? With that being said, let's go ahead and hop right into it. The top of the order. All right, let's get this thing started. Here it is, the top of the order. This weekend, we had some championships decided. It was wildly entertaining. We're going to talk about college basketball. We're going to talk about the men's a little bit later, but the hullabaloo and everything else is circling around LSU, Iowa, for the national championship. In case anybody wondering, the score was LSU 102, Iowa 85, because I don't think none of the talking heads on none of the networks told anybody about what the score was. Instead, they talked about Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, the chicanery, shenanigans, aftermath. You can't see me. Celebrations, taunting, and all this other stuff. But here at the Sportbros podcast, we're going to stick to sports, and we're going to talk about the game. So, with that being said, fellas, well, I'm sorry what you be live. What you think about this game, man? LSU and Iowa for the chip.
Well, let's go ahead and state the obvious. There's a reason why we're starting off with the women's title game, because it was way more exciting than the men's. I mean, as much as San Diego State put up a fight, we'll talk about it in a little bit. Man, you could feel the electricity in the room in Dallas when it came to LSU versus Iowa. Scotty D, I could do this whole episode without your shenanigans and your sound effects.
I'm agreeing with you.
I'm agreeing to punch you in the throat the next time I see you.
Yeah, you can't see me. You can't see me.
Oh boy.
Well, man. But no, when I tell you, I mean, yes, the two big stars, Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, stat fillers, absolutely. And I've talked about both of them throughout the season and everything, and it all came to a head. But let's start off by giving respect to where respect is due, because ain't nobody talked about her. But my goodness, Jasmine Carson of LSU, first half, 7 of 7 from the field, 5 of 5 from the 3-point line, 21 points off the bench. And with a buzzer beater at the end of the first half that took the air out of the wind, that took the air out of the sails of Iowa going into halftime. I believe LSU was up by like 17 points at the half. And LSU let it be known that they weren't going to have it. They were not going to let Caitlin Clark beat them. They were not going to let Caitlin Clark disrespect them. They were not this. And Caitlin Clark still got hers, which is ridiculous. That the entire offensive scheme of one team is focused on one person, and you can't stop it. Still can't stop it. She still scored 30 points. But, man, I got to give props to Jasmine Carson for that first half, because you don't expect that. That's what wins championships when you get the I swear it. He got one more time.
I didn't say anything.
You ain't got to say nothing. You ain't got to say nothing. What you not gonna do is disrespect me while I'm talking about this game. God almighty. Ladies and gentlemen that are listening right now,
you didn't expect that from Jasmine Carson, huh? That wasn't
a bench player that averages 8 points a game.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't expect that on Jasmine Carson. She blew me out of the water with that one.
All right, B-Live, tell us what you did.
I'm gonna chop him in the throat, people, because he knows what he's doing. But no, it was a collection of collective effort from LSU. You could tell by the way they came on the court that they were determined. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to echo a couple of the talking heads. The officiating of that game was abysmal. It was some of the worst I've ever seen. And we talk about it a lot, where we don't want the game determined by the referees. But when you give a technical foul because the ball is flicked in the wrong direction, when you foul after foul after foul, 3 of our players had 4 fouls midway through the third quarter, it makes it pretty tough. But I'm not going to the way LSU played, Iowa wasn't stopping that. They weren't stopping that at all. They had a formula, and you need to put respect on Kim Mulkey's name. 2 years at LSU, already produced a championship. The men's basketball team has never done it. The women's basketball team hasn't done it until now. LSU women's basketball is on the map, and this is actually a good sign when it comes to the transfer portal, because a lot of the players had transferred from other schools, have been sort of neglected, sort of written off because of their sometimes how crass, how sometimes a little rough around the edges, and Kim Mulkey coached them. She did something that John Calipari can't do. So, props to the LSU Lady Tigers. And now we're going to allow Scotty D to say something silly about the game he probably didn't watch because it didn't interest him.
I'm going to be honest. I did not see 1 minute of any of the women's tournament. And that brings me to one of my next talents. I have a God-given ability to recognize that there are some great athletes and basketball players, great athletes in other sports, and still not care. That's God-given talent. I was able to just not care about that tournament at all. The same way I don't care about the Tour de France, and there are great athletes pedaling around mountains and, soccer games, great guys who could kick the ball really good, and I don't care. That's just how it was for this tournament. I mean, awesome. I mean, congratulations, LSU. And that what was the girl's name? Mulkey. She won another championship. Congratulations! I'm happy for her. There's talent, there's skill. I'm not knocking it. I just didn't personally feel like flipping over to watch it, so I don't really have much to comment on. I mean, the only thing I know is that the Reese girl did a little signal. Everybody got mad, and then they said the other girl, Kaden Clark, did it first, and people were mad about that. I didn't even see the highlights of the game. All that's all they're talking about is this girl doing a gesture. I haven't seen one highlight of. I don't even know if that girl's good. The Reese, I don't even know if she's good. I just know that she did a gesture and people were mad about it.
So you telling me you don't even pay attention to me and my pepper points? Because I mentioned Angel Reese when she had a 26.25 rebound game.
I may have zoned out.
Tournament.
I may have zoned out.
See, that's what's wrong right there. That's okay. That's okay. You know what? I understand. There's shows all over on television, on radio, podcasts, all over the place where there's somebody on the show that is educated about the sports that they talk about. Then you have knuckleheads that are also on the show.
With so much knowledge that it overflows. It doesn't all fit in the cup. You can just keep pouring knowledge over and over, and I can only hold so much of your knowledge, and it overflows. I can't get it all. I can't keep it all in the cup. So I mean, that was a compliment to you. That was a compliment. And if you could see my face, you would know that I'm being very, very sincere right now.
I can see. No, here's the thing. I can see your face. Just because you can't see mine, I can see your face. I don't believe you, sir.
Is that true, Eddie? Can you see me?
You can still see. You can still see.
I can still see. Yes.
Yeah. So you can't get away, Scott. You cannot get.
You know what? Where doggone I can't even do what I want to do right now because I'm so sick of him. How do I push the button on this thing? I want him to look at my face right now. There's got to be a way for this freaking thing.
Listen, let's get back on track.
You see me. You see me now. You see me now.
There he is.
The background is wrong and everything, and my beard ain't shaved. But I want you to see my face. I am disappointed in you. Nice I'm so sick of you. God bless America.
Congratulations to LSU, the national champions.
Right,
congratulations.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing back on the track. Angel Reese had another double game with 10 rebounds, 15 points. Let's see, Flau'jae Johnson, she chipped in with 10 points, and Morris, what's the name? Angel Morris? I forgot what her name was. She also had 21, and Carson, aka LSU Ice Spice, as they've been called her, she chipped in with 22 points as well too.
Didn't expect that from her. Didn't expect it.
No, because she averaged 6.8 points a game, and she came in and found the rhythm and got hot. And Scotty D, you would have been happy with the 3-point shooting because I'm over here looking at it right now. Iowa shot 46.7% from the field, and LSU, they shot 64.7% from the field, which means a whole lot of shooting was going on. So real quick about this whole Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark thing, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to put a bow on it because I'm at the point now, I'm tired of seeing it, tired of talking about it. When you start hooping and hollering and talking trash, you can't see me, you doing this, you doing that. You do understand. You set yourself up for ridicule and criticism as far as Caitlin Clark goes. Okay, so all I got to say is about the whole Angel Reese situation. she gave her a dose of her own medicine. And if you want to put a stop to Angel Reese, per se, or shut her up, you got to stop her. You got to stop her. This reminds me of Cam Newton when he was dabbing on everybody back in 2015. The best way to stop that from happening, the best way to stop that is to stop that. If you don't like it, do something about it. Do something about it. Stop
it. Yeah. Like the referees not throwing flags when Von Miller was going after his. My bad. I apologize. Open the wound a little bit. But let me say this real quick. Let me say this about because the bow. I'm gonna tie the bow. I'm gonna put my finger where you're tying the bow.
Mm.
We allow it and sometimes celebrate it on the men's side of things.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't we do the same on the women's side of things? Why are we at arms about it on the women's side? Men, we talk trash. Heck, this is almost what our podcast is all about. We talk trash.
Yep.
Why are we up in arms now when the women are doing it?
I'm disgusted by it, and I'm not going to watch them anymore.
Scotty D is at least okay. I'm gonna give him this much. He's being 100% honest. It is not a sport that interests him. I'm not gonna be able to change his mind on that. He thinks the same thing about the sport that most people in the world watch, which is the game of football, soccer, called in America. He doesn't watch it.
Here's the thing.
But he's also.
I don't understand why you get mad. I tell people all the time, I love watching golf or I love watching baseball. People say to me, that's boring. I don't know how you can stand to watch it. That's awful to sit and watch. And you know how that makes me feel? Nothing. I don't care. I don't care I don't care if you don't like the sport. That's people that's like soccer fan. I always get offended when I'm like, I think that sport sucks. I think it's boring. What do you mean? You don't understand. You don't get it. There's so much more than scoring. It's a beautiful game. Okay. I'm not insulting you. I just don't like that sport.
That ain't your thing. That ain't your thing, right? No,
I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell you this because you my boy. You my boy. We've been doing this for 4 years. Episode 198. We're sneaking up to 200 in a couple weeks.
200.
Uncle Max, if you're listening, we want you on the show in a couple weeks. Since Scotty D doesn't reach out to people, it's okay.
Hey, Uncle Max, I'm coming to see you tomorrow.
You are? Okay, nice.
Yeah, I'm going to Myrtle Beach. Heading to the beach.
All right.
But here's the thing. Scotty D's over-the-top personality will not just allow him to not watch a sport. He's going to let us know how much he's not going to watch the sport. That's what gets me, is that when I speak something of a sport that I like, oh, here comes the sound effects. Oh, when I talk about bowling, he's got sound effects. What's his extra sound effects for? Yes, you do.
Next thing you
do, but that's okay.
I like bowling. I like bowling.
Scotty D is unapologetically Scotty D. I love you for it. Don't ever change. Absolutely, man. But you silly. Yeah. You silly.
All right, we're gonna move along into Monday night's national championship game on the guys' side of thing.
I watched this.
Okay, well, you watched that, Scotty D. The Huskies win 76-59 as they defeat the San Diego State Aztecs. Amazing run by the Aztecs. The Huskies got right at the right time. Kind of reminds me of that one Huskies team with Kimball Walker, where they just kept winning, and kept on winning. Scotty D, take away from that game.
What my takeaway from not only this game but the whole tournament is I cannot for life of me figure out how UConn was a 4 seed. How did they get cold in January, February, and lose enough games where they dropped from number 1 team in the country down to a 4 seed in the tournament? Because they were head and shoulders better than everyone. Now, I know that they actually didn't beat anybody, I think, higher than a 3 seed. I think that was, if I'm not mistaken. They obviously didn't beat any ones because no ones had advanced. And what was San Diego State was, what, 8 seed? Or they were 5. They were 5, I think. So they Miami was a 5, but it doesn't matter. They're beating whoever's put in front of them and beating them convincingly. I mean, they were the one team in this whole tournament that didn't give us any really good games as far as like competitive down to the wire exciting games, because typically in these March Madness games, teams surge. You fall behind and then you surge back. And UConn just didn't allow that to happen. This game was over in the first half when San Diego State went 10 minutes without scoring from the field. And you can attribute that to UConn's defense. They just were digging into these guys, and they were clogging up the lanes. They weren't giving them anything. They really made them work for it. And when they went up, whatever it was, 12 points, 13 points, I said, this is over. And ordinarily, I don't think that during this tournament, because this tournament is so good and these teams have ups and downs throughout the games that you expect, if you're down a certain amount of points, somebody's going to come back. I expected with Gonzaga fell down 13 points, and instead it went to a 30-point deficit. It was incredible. UConn is just absolutely blowing teams away. They're well coached, and they got veterans. And San Diego State, they did make a small run in the second half there. I think they cut it to 5 with like 8 minutes to go or whatever it was, and then UConn just had enough of that, and they just set sail and left them behind. And I'm convinced they were the best team in the country. I don't always feel that way. Like, the best team doesn't always win the Super Bowl, World Series, March Madness. But in this case, I think that UConn was the best team in the country. Be Live, agree?
I will absolutely agree with you, because I mean, it wasn't even close and it wasn't even fair. Like, not only did I went to look while you are making your point. I went to look at who they faced, and I want to see, did they end up going through an easy bracket? And that wasn't even the case either. Like, they played and here's somebody going to say, oh, they faced 2 teams from the West Coast Conference in Gonzaga and St. Mary's. They faced a number 8 Arkansas team that was mid-tier in the SEC. They didn't get to face Kansas, and they didn't face UCLA. They faced the teams that beat Kansas,
right, yeah,
and beat UCLA. So I mean,
yeah.
And
so they were facing capable teams. It wasn't like they were just getting the scrubs. These are all good teams.
And the one thing that I want to say, and I'll continue to say over and over and time again, the one thing I love about March Madness and I love about the bracket and everything is the fact that teams win these tournaments. Not your stars, not your one and dones, but teams that have veteran leadership. They've been together for years, and it absolutely showed. Man, hats off to your Florida Atlantics, your Fairleigh Dickinsons, your San Diego States. Like, hats off to your Michigan States, even to the likes of Pitt. Like, just teams that you would that just like all your blue bloods, your Kentuckys, your Dukes that have star power but may not necessarily have the team aspect, they fell by the wayside. Hats off to Kansas State. Hats off to Gonzaga. I think Gonzaga could have beat anybody else in the tournament, but they ran into UConn. And so that's just what it is. And at the end of the day, UConn just showed the world exactly who they are. Hats off to Miami, scrappy Miami team, because they took down the Texas team that I swore up and down was going to handle business. I'm a little mad about that, but it's okay. It's all right. I'm okay.
I heard an interesting point made on another on CBS Sports Radio this morning, and the point they were making is that this what we're looking at with this UConn style team could be the new norm, in that these guys were older for the most part. I mean, there was maybe a couple freshmen, but juniors and seniors, and it seems like the new way of recruiting is to recruit the transfer portal more than recruit high school players, because now you're recruiting guys who have already begun the development process rather than an unknown 17, 18-year-old kid moving away from home for the first time. And it makes sense. And it was I think Bruce Pearl from Auburn was the one that came out and was interviewed and brought that point up. And if you look at it, I mean, that seems to be what I mean, why go after a kid if he's not proven yet when you know this kid is playing good over here and I can get him just to transfer to my school without having to start from scratch, so to speak. So it's going to be interesting to watch that play out as a new model.
That's a very good point because you mentioned that it happened in both the men's and the women's bracket because LSU was the same way. LSU's starting team had a bunch of transfer. Angel Reese went to Maryland. I forget. What is that? What is my girl's name? I don't forgot her name. I just had her stats up, and I'll pull up all kinds of stuff. I'll be all over the place when it comes to this thing, but. But when it came to
having said that, I don't necessarily like that. I don't necessarily love it. You know, I mean, that's the way it is now. But I don't necessarily like it. I mean, but it is what it is. I mean, it's the new reality. Just like I don't like the idea, and this is being thrown out there now too. And I think a couple of the coaches have already spoke on it, Izzo and Danny Hurley, of expanding this tournament to like 90 teams. As opposed to the 68. And personally, I have been saying for years and years and years, this is the best sporting event there is. It does not fail you. If you sit and watch these games, you may get a clunker here and there or a blowout here and there, but if you watch enough of these games, you are not going to be disappointed. You are going to see close basketball, good games, guys going at it with all they got because they know this could be the last time they ever wear that uniform. It's so exciting to watch these games, and I just don't think you need to change it. I don't think you need more. I think you're just everybody wants to expand. I mean, we talked about this before in college football and NFL and NBA. We talked about this over and over again. I just don't think it needs done. I think this is a perfect model the way it is.
Yeah, as far as this tournament goes, man, like leave it alone because if you start messing with it too much, it won't have that same luster, that shine, that same feel. And I will say this, like between both tournaments, like the men's and the women's, I will say that look, it's been exciting, it's been entertaining. Like, real little secret real quick. I did call off a day of work to play hooky. I'm not gonna lie. I don't play hooky. Y'all know I'm a hardworking man, but I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna sit on my ass and I'm gonna watch some college basketball because it's
you shouldn't have to call off any. It should be just given. Everybody should be given time off across the country for the first 2 rounds of March Madness. It should just be that way.
The whole world will come to a halt.
Yeah.
Even though it sort of does. Like you will be you'll be in the office. You'll be on your cell phones, on your computer. Don't get fired because of March Madness. But I don't know. Don't ask me nothing.
Eddie, I'm proud of you for doing that. I'm impressed with you for taking a day off work.
I was like, I said, I work. It's like this. Y'all know, off air we talk a whole lot. I'm a hardworking man. I work hard behind the scenes, with this podcast, with my normal 9 to 5, with my budding career in radio. That's right, budding career in radio. In case you didn't know, I said, you know what? I'm gonna take a day off because I work hard and I deserve it. But I have no complaints about this tournament. I don't have any bad qualms, ill will issues, none of that. I'm just like you said. Don't change it too much. Just leave it well enough. Just leave well enough alone, man. It's fine the way it is. All right, and that's gonna do it for college basketball discussion of the national championships. Us being grown-ass men, yes, we watch wrestling. Yes, WrestleMania this weekend. And guess what? Oh, hell yeah. We're going to talk about WrestleMania 39 that emanated from SoFi Stadium in beautiful Los Angeles, California. Right after this, right here on the Sports Bros Podcast. We're back here at the Sports Bros Podcast, and as promised, we will be talking about some wrestling. Squared circle, the mat wraps. And for those of y'all that don't like it, fast forward a little bit to the choices of the voices section. But if you want to hang around and hear us talk about wrestling, let's do it. As I mentioned, WrestleMania, the 39th installment of the grandest show of them all, the biggest stage on earth, whatever the hell you call it.
The showcase of the immortals.
There we go. Yeah, it's so big that they put up in 2 nights. First of all, I love the fact that they made this 2 nights because you remember we had to sit through a whole night.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
They what was that the debacle when they had it in New York or quote unquote New Jersey?
Yeah,
where public transportation stopped.
Yeah,
so people were just stuck in New Jersey.
Yeah,
at 1:30 in the morning because it lasted 7 hours. Yeah. Thank you for somebody doing this. I mean,
yeah. I love wrestling, but 7 hours, I can barely get through 3 hours of Monday Night Raw. We'll talk about that later. All right, so night one goes as follows. We had Austin Theory versus John Cena. We had the Street Profits. They won the Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match. Seth Rollins defeats Logan Paul. Becky Lynch, Trish Stratus, and Lita defeat Scotty D's favorite girls, Damage Control, because he just loves seeing them on TV. Rey Mysterio spanks that ass of Dominic Mysterio.
Called it.
Yep, Rhea Ripley defeats Charlotte Flair to get the belt, and Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens defeat the Usos to become the undisputed tag team champions. Fellas, what was your favorite match of night one?
Scotty, go ahead.
I feel so guilty. I just go and trash professional sports that I don't watch so I could talk about how I'm a pro wrestling fan.
There you go. No, yeah.
Oh boy, yeah. I liked my favorite match of that was probably I liked the tag match. I liked the bloodline going down, the Usos going down to Sami and KO. They've been building the story for a year or so on this, and it came to fruition. And I did like the athleticism in the Seth Rollins and Logan Paul match. I mean, this Logan Paul's good. I mean, we make fun of him for being a dork, and he is, but he's actually a pretty good athlete. So I thought that was pretty enjoyable the first night for the most part.
What say you?
I'm gonna go outside the box. Of course, the Undisputed Tag Team Championship, that was picture perfect storyline telling. That was everybody was just, we want to see how this was going to happen. And that match delivered on every single bit of it. My favorite match of Saturday, though, I love it when things don't go according to plan. I like when creative tries to do something, and the crowd says, we ain't having it. As much as they tried to make Charlotte Flair a face, they couldn't do it.
No,
that's good. That's a good guy for those of you who don't know the lingo.
Right. Yeah.
Baby face, yeah.
They tried, and that's basically at the end of the day, that's what wrestling is. As far as entertainment value, you have good guy versus bad guy. They've been doing it repeatedly for decades, and it works. It works. It is what it is. You always root for somebody and you root against somebody. But the Charlotte Flair Rhea Ripley match, it was just, not only was it entertaining, it was brutal, it was ruthless, and Rhea Ripley has been red hot all year. She is the top of the totem pole, top of the food chain. She is a mommy, and I'm gonna say this on the air. Them yams. I'm gonna say it. I don't care.
Show him the way. He got bills to pay. Shout out to Masego, who was in Cleveland a few nights ago. Go ahead, B-Live.
But yes, one match, and the Rhea Ripley. Congratulations for becoming the new WWE SmackDown Women's Champion. That was a great highlight to the women's sport across the board. The most underrated, and I think the most, like, you saw the most athleticism though, was the WrestleMania showcase, the Fatal 4-Way Tag match, and with the Street Profits winning that over Braun Strowman, Ricochet, the Alpha Academy, and the Viking Raiders. I think it's time. I think it's time to push Chad Gable
as a solo.
Chad Gable, yeah, it's either solo or something where, like, he has the charisma with the crowd. I mean, it's just one of those things where it works for him, and he has incredible athleticism. Like, he
He's little. German, they don't like that. He's short.
Yeah,
he just German suplex.
That's the knock.
He just German suplex Braun Strowman. I think that was the highlight of the entire evening. Like that, the crowd popped for that was incredible, and I think it's time. And then when Dawkins freaking ran over Braun Strowman running, you know what he does.
The Strowman Express, the Strowman Express,
There was a crowd pop for that. Was amazing. That match I think was very underrated, and it actually highlighted it. There was actually a showcase, and it shows the potential that they have in the tag team division. I think it's time to split the tag team belts. I think it's time for that. I think you have enough talent to do so, or feature them more as opposed to where it's just 2 top tag teams and then the rest of them are just mid-carders. These guys are incredibly talented, and it was on display on Saturday. I loved every bit of it.
B-Live, I'm like you. The Fatal 4-Way, the showcase, that was a damn good match. It was full of athleticism, just like you didn't know what to expect. Like everybody knew that, hey, we got to earn that WrestleMania check. We got to earn it tonight. We have to really earn it in a good way. Logan Paul never disappoints whenever he's in the ring. There's obviously great chemistry between him and Seth Rollins. Leader Trish Stratus, Becky Lynch, Damage Control. I don't really care too much about that. Yeah, and then the Mysterios, that's a good one. That's great storytelling, because a lot of people got drank, spit on them, slapped, 2 holidays crashed. Like they really told a good story here. And to cap it off, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn defeating the Usos for the tag team championships. Could there be chinks in the armor? We shall see. Moving on to night 2, Brock Lesnar, he squashes Omos. Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler win the women's fatal 4-way. Gunther defeats Sheamus and Drew McIntyre to retain the Intercontinental Championship. Bianca Belair defeats Asuka to retain the Raw Women's title. Snoop Dogg, a replacement for Shane McMahon, who blew his quad muscle, defeats The Miz, who had a 3-piece suit on. Edge defeats Finn Balor and literally splits his wig. And the main event, Roman Reigns goes over on Cody Rhodes for the WWE Undisputed Universal title. All right, Scotty D, night 2, what you got?
I like the main event is the best one. Like, just because the same thing. It was part of the big storyline that involved so many people, and the drama was high. And I really thought that we were going to have a new champion. I went back and forth on that all day. And by the time the show started, I said, you know what? I'm convinced. The confetti is going to be dropping, and Cody Rhodes is going to be in the ring with his baby and his daughter, and the new era is going to begin while the bloodline feud. That part of the story was going to continue on, and that didn't happen that way. And I was good with it. I liked it. I like when I like when it's not so predictable that I can just figure it all out. I like being surprised and swerved a little bit. So that one was the one for me on the second. That's the one I look forward to the most, is because I wasn't sure what direction they were going to go.
All right, what says me? I'm just waiting on Scotty. I want to hear those words from Scotty D. He should know the words I want to hear, because he told me no. He told me I was wrong. I told him exactly why Roman Reigns was going to win. So I need to hear it from him.
What do you want me to hear? I was wrong?
No, I want to know. It's the opposite of that, but it refers to me.
B-Live was right.
You're silly. I can't. You can't see me. You can't see me. That.
No, you know. I know you don't.
Here's what's silly about you. You're right so seldom that whenever you point it out, the one time it happens, you make such a big deal about it. It just shines the light on how often you're wrong.
I mean, God, cut that out.
Wow. You're right about something like twice a year, and whenever it happens, you're like,
damn,
I told you so.
You said twice a year.
Twice a year, you predict something correctly. You're like, what? Check me out.
I have never. Oh my God. Salt, hate, shade. Geez, oh my God. I called it. I said that they're gonna push Roman. They're gonna push Roman Reigns to 1,000. And then he's going to relinquish the title at SummerSlam, and then he's gonna come back with a Hollywood appearance or whatever, in Philadelphia against somebody. But he's gonna get to 1,000. They're gonna push him to 1,000. You're gonna see Roman Reigns maybe twice a month now, and we just saw it on the Raw after WrestleMania. Who is he? Who? The story right now? Who is he about to fight? Because Brock Lesnar just turned on Cody, but that's a whole nother story. My match is just I'm gonna do my best Big E interpretation. Big E, and I need sponsorship after this. Just meats on top of meats on meats. Just big meat just slapping each other. Oh, the triple threat match for the Intercontinental Championship. Gunther, Sheamus, Drew McIntyre.
Yeah.
I absolutely loved it. Just flesh and beating up and
they beat the hell out of each other.
They beat the brakes off. I hit myself in the chest just to see if I could take it, and I can't at all. Man, you know what? Gunther just needs a little bit more tweaking, but Gunther can be a star. Gunther can be a star.
Walter.
I'm sorry, I did.
Walter.
Walter. Will be Walter.
The Scotty D. Yeah, because Scotty D has been like on the Walter like wagon since since he first got there, and I was like, yeah. Yeah, Walter / Gunther, he's a bad dude. He's a bad dude. He got himself together. He's in tip-top shape. I'm probably thinking like within another year, he gonna be like top dog, world champion. I think Gunther's doing an amazing job with the Intercontinental title, bringing it back to relevancy, because the story behind the Intercontinental Championship is it's a secondary title, but it's known as the workhorse title. Because you had guys like Randy Savage, Shawn Michaels, Shelton Benjamin, like some guys that really went in there and worked to hold the Intercontinental title. All right, and so that leaves me. I would say that my favorite match, it had to be Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes, because I was at the bar getting some chicken wings on my way going home from work, but I was watching Peacock on my wonderful cellular device, and I'm like, hey baby, bring me another drink. I'm not that rude out in public, but I was just I was invested, and yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do with Roman Reigns, and then like you mentioned, be live with Brock Lesnar turning on Cody. What the hell is going on with that? And then Vince McMahon with that worm going across his lip, trying to figure out what the hell that's going on too.
Oh boy!
And earlier Monday, the WWE announced the sale to, was it Evolution? What's it called, Scott? Evolution? Who they sell to?
No.
Oh shoot! It's like
Revolver, Pistol Cross.
Evacuation.
No,
it's execution.
Emancipation.
Proclamation.
Constipation. It's Endeavor. Endeavor.
Endeavor.
Yeah. Endeavor. They were the parent company to UFC. Now they're the parent company to both UFC and WWE. Both the leadership stays pretty much the same. Vince McMahon somehow is back in charge of WWE, and Dana White is in charge of UFC. I believe that WWE sold at $9.3 billion. Good Lord. Vince McMahon bought it for $1 million like 30 some odd years ago. $1 million, and now it's worth $9.3 billion. I want to throw out just a side note real quick about day 2 of WrestleMania. Thoughts and prayers.
Oh yes,
to the young girl that performed for Bianca Belair. For those that watch WrestleMania, she was the little girl at the very end that was the contortionist. Mm-hmm. Yes, and one that danced with Bianca Belair. She had lost her mother earlier that day, and still had the heart and the drive to perform on that grand stage. And just the post interview with Triple H just tugged at my heartstrings, because you could see how emotional he was. And just the entire story in its fullness. It's just how important, how amazing, what it really means to get to that stage, to get to that level, and to be able to perform for millions, and the impact that WWE and sports entertainment, the impact that it has on families and people worldwide. It was felt in that very instance more than anything else. And so our thoughts and prayers goes out to that young lady and her family through this difficult time. She performed amazingly, especially under those circumstances. So I wanted to mention that as well.
Yeah, here I come. Like when my mama passed away, I couldn't go to work. I was unstable for like the next while, you know what I'm saying? But for her to be so young and to be that, they're not lying when they say kids are resilient, they're not lying about that. Yeah. So shout out to that young lady, man, and her family, man. Thoughts and prayers and condolences go out to her, man. Yeah. WrestleMania. This one is in the books. Next year it's gonna be in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I'd like to go, but I'm gonna need that weather report to be favorable. Yeah.
Well, we can't wait until the week prior. We either gonna have to do it. But we're in discussions right now to see if the Sports Bros make the trip to Philadelphia.
Yep.
Could be fun.
Yeah, Scotty. What the hell?
Could be fun.
Yeah. All right. So that's that. But fellas, looking at my cell phone because I have yet to replace my watch that got drenched in water. Kids learned a lesson. Guess what time it is? What time
is it? I'm
about to say, hell, what's going on? Are we out of practice anyways? I'm glad you asked. This time once again for our favorite portion of the show. You guessed it, the choices of the voices. With that being said, hey, yo, Button, hit it. Choices of the voices coming up next.
And now, our favorite part of the show, the choices of the voices.
Once again, thank you to the wonderful and
ever so lovely
Miss Button for introducing our favorite portion of the show, the choices of the voices, where we ask you the question, you give us the answer, and we talk about it. And Scotty D also helps with the intro as well, too, because he is pound for pound the toughest lunch person this side of the Mississippi River. Scotty D, what's the question for this week's choices of the voices?
All right, we asked you to share with us something that you were proud of, or some type of sports memorabilia that you were fond of or proud of, something that you like, a prized possession type of thing, an autograph, a photo, card, ticket stub, anything that had some personal value to you as it comes to the world of sports. And Eddie Cool, we did have a few people that shared with us some of their prized possessions.
In the words of the almighty B-Live, hashtag the Sports Bros Marketplace. Somebody play some market music somewhere? No, I'm joking. All right, so let's get into it. Scott Heinerman, he says, I have that card, that Jerry Rice rookie card that's featured in the picture for the choices of the voices. That thing probably worth a bunch of doggone money. All right.
Oh, $8 on eBay. Remember this? That was the one I was telling you about last week.
That was it?
Yeah. I think it should be worth a couple $100, and eBay has it for like $8.49. So
yeah, tripping. That's all. Put some respect on Jerry Rice's name. Tony Bogan, what's up, brother? He said, I have a couple from last year. First one was with Bill Walton, ESPN college basketball commentator. Very interesting individual, especially when he calls Pac-12 games. The second one is with NASCAR Xfinity Series owner Matt Collick, who is an Akron grad, and it ran into him during a playoff game I covered last season. Yeah, so Matt Collick, he's from up here. He's a local guy, he's an Akron grad, and Bill Walton. Bill, hey, you thought
so? I'm guessing Tony's saying he got pictures taken with these guys. Is that what we're gathering from this?
Either he shook their hand or said hi or slapped five or did something. So those are his memories. Those are his.
Because it says I have a couple, so I wasn't sure exactly. He didn't specify what it is. He says first one was with Bill Walton, so I'm guessing he may have gotten photos taken with somebody from the Conference of Champions, Bill Walton. I guess that's what he was talking about. And in this case, I think I'd rather meet Matt Collick than Bill Walton.
Yeah, good old Matt Collick. All right, Tony Wynn, he said autograph Bobby Orr. His last year and Wayne Gretzky's first years, 1978 together. Didn't know they overlapped career. So I'm looking at the picture right here and
that is cool.
Yep, that's pretty cool, man. Bobby Orr, one of the best to ever do it in the National Hockey League. Jumping Joe Gafkin, he said, I have a 1991 Super Bowl 24 NFL autograph by Art Monk, Darryl Green, and Doug Williams. Hail to the Tater Skin Piglet, all them.
Yeah.
Yeah, hail to the Redskins for life, all right? Hall of Famer Uncle Max, he posted a picture, and I'm trying to...
That's Willie Mays, and I'm pretty sure that came from Overtime Sports Cafe.
No,
I knew it looked familiar.
Oh, yes.
He added a couple cards in the corners. I don't believe. I think those are probably his before he got the picture, but that picture came from Overtime. I'm quite certain. So, and I know Max is a big Giants fan when it comes to baseball, so that's really cool. Willie Mays.
That's cool as hell. All right, Trey Dizzle said, I got way too much stuff to list, so you'll have to look at my Instagram. It is _Trays with a capital T _cards. Yes, Trey Dizzle, he got a lot going on.
And, that is a paid sponsorship. We will send you your bill in the mail, Trey Dizzle.
Yeah, he's gonna try to pay us with Tony Romo cards.
Put that mess in the garbage. Anyways, all right, so we got JoJo Comfort, the best name in the game. He said, I'd have to say mine is an old Darius Kasparaitis road sweater from his time as a Penguins defenseman in the late 90s and early 2000s. The Pens have always been known for their flashy, high-powered offense, but guys like DK on defense are irreplaceable. He often lined up against the other team's best line and worked his tail off every night. He's an instigator and sometimes labeled as a dirty player, but he did the little things to help the team succeed. I remember when Kasparaitis played for the Islanders, and if your last name is Kasparaitis, you got to be a tough mofo.
He was just one of those dudes that if he's not on your team, he's on your nerves. Yeah. It's one of those guys that just rub you wrong.
Yeah, he's not lying about that. Darius Kasparaitis, wow, that's a name I ain't heard of forever. Brenda Johnson, she says, an autograph, 1995, the boss, Bobby Cox, a World Series jersey, and it is in phenomenal condition. It looks wonderful.
Winner, chicken dinner. We can go ahead and stop this segment right now because that just won. I don't care what anybody says. I was like, I'm just saying this real quick about Brenda. That's my homegirl. That I love her to death. She actually got me a 2022 World Series replica ring for the Braves. She is the biggest Atlanta Braves fan you will ever meet in your entire life. And this right here, it didn't even surprise me. But that is such a beautiful thing to have. And I was like, wow. It didn't even surprise me, but it was like just amazing to see. She threw in a picture of it. Brenda, I love you. Cannot wait to go to a game with you. We're supposed to be going to a Durham Bulls game sometime later on this year, and then we're going to find a way to make it to Atlanta, to make it to Cobb County. It's not in the city, but near Marietta, but we're gonna make it to a Braves game at some point in time. Love you, Brenda.
B-Live, do you know what the acronym is for Cobb County, the word Cobb?
I do not know.
You better be on your best behavior because if you're in Cobb County, you can count on being busted. All right.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, don't play around the Cobb County, boy. Anyways, all right, so moving right along, we got Matty Ice Martin Tracy. He says a signed book by Bill Russell. And if you watch the new Bill Russell documentary on Netflix, that is a rivalry. That is a rarity. I'm sorry, a rarity. Scotty, let me borrow them dollar store readers. A rarity, as he didn't like to sign much. So shout out to Matty Ice, Brenda Johnson, JoJo Comfort, Trey Duke, Trey Dizzle, the Hall of Famer Uncle Max, Joey Jumping Gaffigan, Tom Winter Chicken Dinner, my homeboy Tony Bogan, and Scott Heineman for their contribution to this week's choices of the voices. And I sound like I got a mouthful of teeth. Scotty D, Sports Memorabilia, what you got?
Well, you guys know we've had him on the show here. Our friend Joel Turner, who is an NFL agent and represents quite a handful of guys throughout the league, one of which is Cole Beasley. And when Cole Beasley was a Dallas Cowboy, I was a big fan of his. He and my dad both just really, really, we liked Cole's game. He caught everything, tough, hard-nosed player out of the slot. And Joel was kind enough to reach out to him and bring me a jersey of his that was autographed. And I have it framed at my house in Myrtle Beach. And that one is really cool, just not only because he was a Cowboy and a guy that I really liked, but the personal connection with Joel. And also when I was a kid, man, I was a big collector of baseball and football cards. I couldn't wait to open a pack of cards. There was no bigger joy at that point in my 7, 8-year-old life than handing a quarter over to someone behind the counter and taking home a pack of they call it a wax pack, where you had the pink stick of chewing gum which you bit, and it was just like biting cardboard, or it would snap and
yeah, oh my god,
hard gum. It took a while for you to get it together in your mouth, and even so just like a little tiny sliver of bubble gum. And I always was excited. And back in those days, I was more excited, 7, 8, 9 years old, of trying to get Pittsburgh Pirates. I would open my card and get Pittsburgh Pirates. However, I did manage at one point to pull out a Ricky Henderson rookie card. And as the years went on, Ricky became one of my all-time favorite players. He's the all-time stolen base leader, and that's never going to change. He was the best leadoff hitter in the history of the game. I can't see how that ever changes. And I just was a fan of his game. I've told you guys before, I love the stolen base in baseball. I love the speed players. I love that. And I just became a big Ricky Henderson fan. And I had actually forgotten about that card at one point because it wasn't such a big deal when I first got it. But I remember looking through there. It's like, oh, there's Ricky's rookie. And, to me, getting that for 25 cents out of a wax pack, God knows what newsstand or local store I got it from. To me, that was really cool that I still had that. And I have that card put in plastic to protect it, kept away from the others. So those are my two of my more prized possessions when it comes to sports. I also had I forgot about this. I should have mentioned, but one time I was wearing a Dallas Cowboy polo, and I went to a golf tournament, and Joe Theismann was there. And when I asked him to autograph something for me, he took his Sharpie and he X'd out the star and wrote Joe Theismann, number 7, go Skins on my shirt. And it was a rotten, dirty thing to do, Joe Theismann, but it was pretty cool. And I still have that shirt, and I never washed it or changed. I still have it hanging in my closet, also in South Carolina. Be Live, what you got?
Watch this shirt again, Scotty said. Go ahead,
yeah.
I'm gonna start off this segment with something that if I'm able to find it, it's easily my number one possession, but I don't know where it's at.
Dabo's dirty socks?
No. 1995.
Ooh.
Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, the home of the Beach Ball Classic. And I had the opportunity to get a signed autograph from the one, the only, the late
Kobe?
Black Mamba, Kobe Bean Bryant. I got it signed. I got him to sign my brochure, the program for the Beach Ball Classic, and I don't know where it's at.
Find it, Be Live. You got to find that thing. Find it.
Be Live. I will drive home to help you find that.
Yeah, you got to find that, buddy.
When you asked this question last week, I just immediately thought that. I was like, oh God, it's somewhere in the attic. I hope it is somewhere in the attic at my parents' house. Hopefully. But one thing that I do have, it isn't signed, but I used to collect a lot of basketball cards back in the day. And I think this is easily my prized possession. And if I could ever get it, what's the thing called where you get it authorized?
Authenticity.
Yeah. But it is, it has none other than the pictures of David Robinson, Patrick Ewing, Larry Bird, Scottie Pippen, Michael Jordan, Clyde Drexler, Karl Malone, John Stockton, Chris Mullin, Charles Barkley, Magic Johnson.
That's Dream Team.
The Dream Team.
The 1992 Dream Team NBA hoops card. I have the full set of the 1992 Dream Team. I know it's not going to be worth as much as I think it is because it's not something that was rare. but I have the entire set.
He got it. He's like, I got it.
I got it. And so that's why hashtag Sportsbros Marketplace. If there's somebody out there that because a brother's Poe, if you want to, it's like
it's probably a Dick's Pawn Shop after a night of bar hopping and barefoot landing for Beeline. That's my guess.
Let's see what we are not going to do is just put my my social issues on blast on this platform. Yes, I do occasionally like the cold beverage.
It might be there.
John Daly, if you happen to be listening to the program, I wouldn't mind having a cold beverage with you. Me and you are kindred spirits, except for the wild pants. Can't do the wild pants, but I know if me and you was at a bar somewhere, it would be a good
Eddie
time.
Cole.
What's yours? You're the one started it. If you just let bygones be bygones, we could just moved on. But you're the one put me out there on blast.
I'm up. Hey, we up against it. We up against it. All right, so here we go. So I'm an avid card collector. I was back then, and I am a little bit now. So I'm looking at my card collection, fellas, and I had to go in our group chat, like our pictures, and find it. So let's see. I still have a Sam Mills card, a Michael Irvin card, a Sergei Fedorov card. I have a Mario Lemieux card, a Ken Griffey and Chipper Jones spring training cards. I also have an insert of a Tony Romo card, which Trey Duke you can have. Let's see. I got a Pro Bowl Ed Reed card. I have who is this down here? Adrian Peterson, and moving right over, I have a Tony Gonzalez card, a Trevor Hoffman card, a Barry Sanders and a Jerome Bettis card. Am I missing anything? Let's see. I also have a Hidden Gems 1995 Doug Gilmore hockey card that's still in a case. Yeah.
Wow. I didn't know you used to collect that much. Yeah, it's good.
Yep. I got a lot of stuff. I'm like, oh shoot, I got a Mario Lemieux card. So I kind of got back into card collecting back in like the early 2000s. But yeah, you never know. Oh, also a Marvin Harrison and a Champ Bailey card as well too. So I got a lot going on. I got some Hall of Fame stuff sitting here, fellas. So with that being said, Scotty D, what's on tap for next week's Choices of the Voices?
All right, next week we'd like you to tell us what sport venue would you like to visit that you have not yet been to. Doesn't necessarily mean a game. Like, I think we before asked, what big event you'd like to go to, like sort of like Super Bowl, Kentucky Derby, that kind of stuff. But we're just talking about what venue. Maybe you've never been to Madison Square Garden, and that's somewhere you'd like to see. Or maybe it would be the Kentucky Derby. You'd like to go out to that track and watch something like that. So that's up to you. What sports venue would you like to visit you have not made it to yet? And Eddie, cool. That'll give us something to talk about next week.
Ooh, when this podcast take off, we got a bucket list, baby.
Maybe a slight spoiler alert. A tradition, unlike any other.
Yeah.
And he'll be doing it. He'll be doing his last one this year. I'm a little sad about.
No, he's staying with that. It's just March Madness he's done with. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He did his last basketball game, but he's staying with football and golf. He's just done with college basketball.
Good, because we can't have Scotty D. What's this I hear about Greg Olson doing the Masters?
Yeah, I hear Tiger Woods is playing this year. He has a great track record at Augusta. I think he could pull it out this year. But then again, I don't know. He's been hurt a lot. It's really too hard to say at this point.
Oh, man, it's time for a round of pepper. We're going to get the hell out of here, and we'll be right back with a round of pepper. And Greg Olson, everybody, right here.
Yeah.
Sportbros Podcast.
Yeah.
Okay, boys, let's bring it home with a round of pepper.
All right, it's time. You heard a woman. It's time for us to go home and get what I call the hell up out of here. But before we leave, we're going to do it a round of pepper, rapid fire style, kind of, sort of, not really, here to educate, engage, enlighten, and entertain. The 4 E's in no particular order. And me being a historian, I'll go first. On this day in history, back in 1934, baseball superstar Babe Ruth agrees to do 3 15-minute broadcasts a week over NBC for a fee of $39,000 for 13 weeks, $4,000 more than his Yankees playing contract.
Sheesh.
So So be live real quick. Let's do the math. What's the math here? 3 15-minute broadcasts a week. For a fee of $39,000 for 13 weeks. And it says
I'm just gonna 13. I'm gonna give that around about. That's around $500,000. I'm around it real quick. Probably around $500,000.
Ain't that
a little bit more than $500,000 actually. 13, 52. You're around about $515,000.
No wonder where Tom Brady learned it from. Over to you, Scotty D.
All right. Here's one about my favorite person in all of sports, Roger Goodell, who always wants to do what's best for the fans and best for the game of football.
Here we go.
So Jerry Jones actually is one of the ones who kind of is on board with this, but they're talking about doing a Thursday flex now. Thursday night flex schedule, meaning you'd have a 15-day notice. So it'd have to be 15 days out. Roger Goodell has already decided, at least him and the boys, they decided that they're going to now add a second Thursday for teams. Teams can now play 2 Thursdays this year. And he said, the players have told me they like after Thursday having the extra 3 days off. It's like a mini bye week. Yeah, they do like that, but they hate playing on the 4th day after the last game.
Right.
Yeah.
Of course you're going to like it, but that doesn't mean you like what gets you to that point.
You like it, and you like it after it's done.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of prisoners like getting out of jail. They just didn't like the
like going in there
5 to 8 that they did prior to that point. So Roger Goodell says this. Listen, there isn't anybody in that room, any of our organizations, who don't put our fans first. That's really important. So if you're a fan who buys a ticket to a Sunday game that's going to be in the middle of November and you buy it September, now they move it to Thursday, 15 days out. Now you have to change your flight plans or your hotel room and all that stuff. Is that that's your idea of putting the fans first? That's really putting the fans first. And he also goes on to say, I don't think we're putting Amazon over our players. Yet you're going to make them play twice now on short weeks. By the way, Thursday Night Football averaged 9.6 million viewers this year. That was a 46% decline from the year before from the networks, which fans could watch because not everybody has Amazon. You really put the fans first on that one, didn't you, you punk? Be live. I'm sick of talking about this guy. Over to you.
Real quick note, Scotty D, what was the season numbers? Was it 9.9? What?
They averaged 9.6 million on Thursday nights this past year.
The women's national championship game from Sunday night. I think the final number was 12 million.
Ooh.
Okay, there you go. Because people can watch it. Not everybody gets Amazon Prime. People get networks. They say, "Oh, I saw this whatever, the girl from Iowa. She's good. She accounted for all 41 points in one way or another in the fourth quarter of the game that beat South Carolina. I'd like to watch her play now. If it was on Amazon Prime and you couldn't watch it. Be live, go ahead.
One night versus one season. Go ahead, Be live. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm just going to put a side note in there. There's 20 games that Scotty D won't be able to watch his Yankees play because they're exclusively on Apple TV.
Yes, another stupid thing. But and in case you haven't forgotten, I'm not a big fan of that commissioner either.
Right. My first pepper point is going to be a local story that Scott's going to make some type of sound effect towards. But this coming weekend is the NCAA women's bowling championship, and the regional matches start this weekend, and it's going to feature 2 teams in the greater triad region, as we call it, triad region: Raleigh, Greensboro, Fayetteville, the Central North Carolina, where Fayetteville State, the Broncos, are traveling to Arlington, Texas for their playing match against Prairie View. And North Carolina A&T State University is headed to Rochester, New York to face Medal in women's bowling. So much respect to those 2 programs from the Central North Carolina region, and wish them the very best. Go Broncos of Fayetteville State. Let's get it. Eddie Cool. Strike the ball.
Be out there facing who? Medal. Who is Medal?
Medal. Don't you asking too much now? I was featuring NCA&T and Fayetteville State. You're doing too much. Just go ahead with your point. I don't freaking know.
I'm like Medal. I'm over here like
Medaille. I don't Medal.
All right, they just found 10 people. Hey, let's go ahead and make a bowling team. It'll be the only athletics pool have in this school. What is it, like D5 or something like that?
They are a university in Buffalo, New York, and it was the Sisters of Saint Joseph founded Medal in 1937, naming it after their founder Jean Paul. It's something French. It's something French. I'm probably.
Little Sisters of the Poor. Heard. Gotcha. All right. Moving right along. These next two paper points goes hand in hand. As the state of North Carolina, they're over here making news again in the sports world. They said, you know what? The participation trophies, you can go ahead and chuck all of them in the garbage. According to Vice and other news publications, North Carolina seeks to ban participation trophies for children. All right. 3 senators in North Carolina have introduced a bill into the local legislature that would ban participation trophies for children. Let's see. I'm reading something here. I don't know who to quote, but I'll read anyway. Youth sports or older youth recreation activities operated under the authority of local government shall not include awards for participation based solely on their participation in the sport or the activity. Awards provided in connection with the activity, if any, shall be based on identified performance achievements. So I'm gonna tell you something right now. Participation trophies, you don't need to give them out anyway, because you're encouraging kids to come up. It's okay to come up short. Now I understand that winning isn't everything, but I'm a firm believer of, hey, you want the Stanley Cup, you want the Lombardi, you want that Larry O.B., go out there and play it, go out there and win it, because now you just can't be handing stuff. Oh, you didn't lose, you didn't win first place, but you got a participation trophy. Hey, look, these kids, they're too young. Don't be stroking their egos. If you want to learn how to win, go play ball, bust your butt, and then aim high. Aren't you supposed to tell your kids, aim high?
Yep.
Aim for the sky or shoot for the moon. That way, if you don't fall, you got the clouds or some kind of cliche mess like that. Hey, look here, man. Do what you got to do, win games, and you'll get the trophy. But as far as participation trophies, they got to go. Over to you, Scotty D.
Agree. I liked it. I like that story.
He's got my vote.
Yep.
Yeah.
Here's another good story. Last month, legendary golfer Fred Couples called Phil Mickelson a nutbag and Sergio Garcia a clown. And Tuesday night, probably as we're speaking, they're having dinner together. Why is that? It is the Masters Champions Dinner, and the Live Tour players are back in town. So the Live boys, they got a lot to prove here because, well, they actually had a court ruling that's coming down today as we speak against them as far as their participation in the DP World Golf Tour, the European Tour. And so these guys, or at this point, it seems like the shine is not on the Live Golf Tour that they may have been expecting. I know they're getting their money. They got to be happy with that. And they're only playing 3 days every, a couple of weeks or so. But now it's time to get back into the pond with the big boys here. The PGA Tour, the guys are grinding. And guys, I know I have said this before, but I'm doing it again. I am picking Rory McIlroy to win the Masters this weekend. Be live. Over to you.
And we're still on Tony Finau watch. We're on Tony Finau watch.
Yes.
I'm rooting for Tony Finau. I believe he's going to actually do it. I'm picking Tony Finau. I'm going to pick him. That's where I'm at with it.
Okay.
So, my second pepper point. I'm just going to build up the hype when it comes to the NHL. The Boston Bruins have been on a tear.
Don't make a damn about the Bruins. Go ahead, B-Dog. I'm sorry.
See, there you go. Let me finish.
Okay.
I know. I don't care. But you gotta acknowledge where they're very close to breaking all the records, like wins in a season. They're already at 60 wins. The record is 62 wins. They've got 5 games to go. The record for points is 132. I believe they're on pace for 133. They're very close. But here's the thing. The reason why I mentioned this as a pepper point is because their final game of the season is against the Montreal Canadiens, the Habs. You know why that's significant? Because guess who holds the record for the most points in a season? The Montreal Canadiens in 1976-77 Montreal Canadiens.
Oh.
I have a feeling there's going to be some historical figures in the house if the Bruins get close to that mark and see if the Canadiens can stop them from breaking that all-time record. Let me finish my story, Eddie. Cool. The ball.
I got you. As soon as you said something about Boston Bruins, I went to itching. I was about to say, you remember what happened? Hey, you remember what happened the last time a team broke a record? Yeah, and got into the playoffs. What happened? Playing all that hard ass hockey for nothing. Yeah,
right.
Montreal Canadiens. Let me see if my French is on point. Les Habitants de Montréal. All right. Shout out to living in northern New Hampshire for 4 years. I should know a whole lot French, but sometimes you do, and sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. All right, third and final pepper point that is very parallel or coinciding with the participation trophy. Jill Biden has the wild idea to be like, you know what? We're going to invite LSU because they won, because, teams that win championships, they get an invite to the White House. All right. Jill Biden said, hey, maybe we should invite Iowa too. You know what? I'm reading the article, but you know what? Damn this article. Let me tell you something. Why in the blue hell did you concoct this silly idea? Hey, we're going to invite the runner-up too. So you're just going to put it all in my face. I just lost. I got beat. You going to put it in my face? You just emphasizing the fact that I lost. Meanwhile, I got Kim Mulkey wearing wild outfits, Angel Reese doing stuff, LSU Ice Spice, I forgot the girl name, and Flau'jae Johnson dropping a hot 16. Meanwhile, I got to stand there with my hands in my pocket because I got my ass whooped by this team. If I'm Iowa, there's no way in hell I'm going to the White House. If I'm Iowa, I'm about, you know what, Jill Biden, I appreciate the invite, but I'll see you next year when we win, ! So yeah, no participation trophies and no runner-ups coming to the White House. You didn't see the Buffalo Bills drag their ass up there when they lost all them damn Super Bowls. So this is a tradition that does not need to start. Over to you, Scotty D. Jill Biden is tripping. Tripping.
All right, so from what I understand, we have some new NBA Hall of Famers on the way. And here's the list of people that got elected. Pau Gasol, my man. Becky Hammonds, Dwayne Wade, Dirk Nowitzki, Greg Popovich, and Tony Parker. Tony Parker's the guy I want to talk about here because Tony Parker on the court averaged 15.5 points, 5.6 assists. He had a finals MVP on the way to 4 NBA titles. On the court, he was a legit threat. Off the court, he's a complete moron. This is a guy who had Eva Longoria, and he lost her because he cheated on her. She ditched Tony Parker. Now, that could be forgivable if you would go and look at the girl he married a few years later, Axel Francine. Forgive me if I botched her name, but she was a journalist and a spa owner, and she was smoking hot, and they are now separated. So Tony Parker, basketball genius, loving idiot, going to the NBA Hall of Fame. Be Live, over to you.
Unapologetically Scotty D. He would find a way to praise this man for making it to the NBA Hall of Fame. And
Idiot Hall of Fame. He's going to the Idiots Hall of Fame.
It's completely
Eli,
trash.
He had Eva Longoria. He had her.
You ain't never lied. You ain't never lied.
Jeez.
And the thing about Scotty D, I knew he was going there too. Go ahead.
I would go home after the game every night. After every game, I'm going home. Even if I'm on the road, I'm going.
I'm flying back to San Antonio to hell with y'all.
Yes,
every night.
Yes, every night.
Third and final pepper point is this brings my heart absolute joy because I called it. People didn't believe me.
Another thing you were right about?
Absolutely right. I was absolutely right about this. And now it's even emphasized in the stands. The pitch count is working. Baseball is exciting again. And I'm absolutely all for it. And the fans are all for it, especially the fans in Seattle, because you know how rabid fans are in the Pacific Northwest in Seattle, especially, the 12th man with the Seahawks, and now the Kraken in hockey, the Seattle Mariners in baseball. They don't have much to cheer for, but man, they have absolutely embraced the pitch clock. Whenever the opposing pitcher is on the mound and the pitch count gets low, you can hear the entire crowd in the stands. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. It's a beautiful thing to see and hear. I guarantee you this pitch clock is here to stay. It's already shaved 28 minutes off of baseball games, and I'm here for it. It's a beautiful thing. Thank you, baseball, for finally getting something right. And also shout out to all of the minor leagues that got a substantial pay raise earlier. Substantial pay raise. More some players got more than double what they used to get paid. For 6 months. For 6 months, would you play baseball for $11,000?
Hell no.
Ugh, that's tough.
That was single A. That was single A. They made $11,000 for 6 months. Now they're making 28,000.
Okay, that's respectable.
Yeah, that's respectable. Yeah. That's why I wanted to go ahead and throw that out there. Yep. Yes, sir.
All right, and speaking of the idiocracy of Tony Parker, I just sent you guys an article in the group chat, but I'm gonna go ahead and talk about it now. And it's from First Sports. I don't know how reputable of a source this is, but it popped up. It says, and I quote, "Stop sexting. Tony Parker crossed all boundaries by getting involved with close friend's wife behind his back." All right. It says
Brent Barry.
Yes.
Was it Brent Barry?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's who he was cheating on Eva with, his buddy's wife.
Yeah. And it says, after learning that Tony Parker had been sexting, it's funny they put a little asterisk by like in place of the E. We know what the hell's going on here. I'm 40. Has been sexting Erin Barry, the wife of former teammate Brent Barry, often. His wife was the one who broke their 3-year marriage. However, the former San Antonio Spurs player and the woman were never involved directly. All right, Tony Parker is a respected Spurs player. The point guard's contribution to the San Antonio Spurs, the greatest period of success. His jersey was retired in 19. All right. Parker and Brent Barry were teammates from 04 to 08, but their friendship ended when he was caught sexting Barry's wife. The hits keep coming.
Yeah.
So the Idiot Hall of Fame. You got Delonte West. You got Effie Aboda from Boston, and now you got Tony Parker. There's a few more in there. I just want to throw those out there off the dome. Well, what was it?
Then again, all these women that he's with are like hot, so maybe we're the idiots.
Yeah, well.
Maybe he's not so dumb after all. I don't know.
He dumb. I'm not. No. I'm not gonna let you get away with that, Scotty. His ass is dumb. He had the hottest chick in the game. His ex-wife, what was her name? Amelie, whatever her name was. She was nice too. And then I never seen Brett Baer's wife, but I'm pretty sure that she was. Nice
she
got
to be hot. Yeah.
Yeah. But somehow, some way, Tony Parker want to be nasty. He want to be a nasty.
Yeah.
All right, fellas. Be Live. Tell everybody what you got going on, man, with karaoke, man. Tell them what you got going on.
Well, your boy is now doing karaoke 5 nights a week.
Oh, bless your heart.
Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at the Back Door in Fayetteville, North Carolina, right off of Bragg Boulevard. And on Wednesdays and Sundays at Cheers 2, 2803 Rayford Road. It's your boy DJ B Live, and it's
got
karaoke.
100 beers on tap. 100 beers on tap. Best briskets
at the Back Door and Cheers 2. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not doing that anymore. I've retired from the restaurant industry. It's over.
Hey, Israel Adesanya going for the rematch this weekend, going for the title with Michael Pereira. I hope he gets it. Let's go, Izzy. And boys, this goes out to you and anybody listening, but happy Easter. Don't forget, Jesus died for our sins. That's the end of the sermon. But happy Easter to all you guys. I hope you get lots of candy, lots of chocolate.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I forgot all about Easter. I'm just somebody's like
Easter week.
It keeps changing every year. He ain't died this week, but we're gonna celebrate his return and his ascension to be at the right hand of God. Why is you laughing?
You just said nonchalantly. He didn't die this week.
Well,
I'm sorry.
It's true. It's true.
He didn't die this week.
You beamed it.
All right, listen, I gotta go. You guys go to church, guys. Love y'all.
Go to church, pray for us, and then close.
Please pray for us.
Yeah, because we need all the help in the world. In closing, do something nice for yourself if you can. Do something nice for someone else. They're greatly appreciated now more than ever. Be in the business of being a blessing because we don't need no more burdens. Y'all pray for me, Be Live. I don't know why that was so damn funny. This has been another episode of the Sportbros podcast. Episode 200 coming up soon. Be Live, get us up out of here.
Yes, sir.
I just had a thought real quick. Like, you know, if Tony Parker and Larsa, never mind. See y'all next week. Take care. I'm just bye. See y'all next week. Thanks for listening. Bye. Hey, it's Eddie Cool here from the Sports Bros Podcast. And do you want some more of the Sports Bros Podcast in your life? Wait a minute, don't answer that. The answer is yes. And I know you want some more of the Sports Bros Podcast in your life. Do us a small favor. Go to the description box, click our Linktree link, and you'll see all the links on how to follow the Sports Bros Podcast. Once again, thanks for listening.